Last night, the Rays jumped on the Angels early, thanks to Corey Dickerson's 3-run shot in the first, as Tampa Bay cruised to a 5-2 victory. Tonight, right-hander Jake Odorizzi goes to the hill versus Mike Trout and the Halos. Late night with the Rays from Southern California starts now. We welcome you to a beautiful night in Southern California. Swing out west continues tonight with Game 2 of a 3-game series between the Rays and the Angels. Rays winners last night, and so they will try to get back to the 500 mark tonight, looking to get there for the 3rd time this year. Hi again, everyone, with Brian Anderson, Dwayne Stats. Great to have you aboard. Well, the Rays winners last night over the Angels. They'll deal with Mike Trout in the middle of this lineup once again. Trout coming off a 41 home run season last year, a real key to success against the Angels.
Well, and when you look at Mike Trout's number this year, he's right around the top of the leaderboard in home runs and runs batted in. And the vast majority of that damage has come in the last 15 games for Mike Trout. 22 out of 58 during that span. The average at 379, the on-base percentage at 446. But 6 of the 7 home runs, 19 of the 23 runs driven in have come in the last couple of weeks. A very, very dangerous low ball hitter. You want to stay out of that zone because that's his juice zone. That's where his power's at. And if you can control Mike Trout, you'll control the Angels.
Rays held him to a bases-loaded walk last night. Otherwise, 0 for 4. Hope coming for Evan Longoria as the Rays and the Angels are just moments away from Anaheim.
In Southern California, Conger getting a start tonight for the Rays against his former team, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. It's our first opportunity for Late Night with the Rays. You will get to know the personality of Hank Conger a little bit more during the course of this broadcast. And here's Conger about returning home to play against the Angels.
I enjoyed the Rally Monkey. When I was in high school, we had a high school watch party with our whole baseball high school team, and we'd watch the 2002 World Series and their whole run. I think the Thunder Sticks was more kind of like my thing, kind of getting everything going. But coming back here is just, I've had great memories here. Obviously in 14 we won the division, and so it's anytime we come back here, it's always special memories.
During the course of the night, we'll hear about how many Chicken McNuggets he can eat before practice, what kind of basketball game he had, and also feeding tigers in Thailand. Guys, it's our first Late Night with the Rays. Take it away, boys.
All right, Todd, thank you very much. We are ready for baseball. The Rays and the Angels following the victory last night for the Rays by a count of 5-2. Take a quick look at the starting lineup for the Rays tonight, presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Logan Forsythe leads it off, followed by Brad Miller. Longoria hits third. Dickerson in the cleanup spot. Steven Souza Jr. in right field. Logan Morrison is at first. Desmond Jennings in there in left field. Kevin Kiermaier will hit eighth, play center field, and the catcher, Hank Conger, behind the plate.
Well, taking the mound tonight for the Los Angeles Angels is right-hander Jared Weaver, making his 6th start of the season, a 3-1 record. That loss came in his most recent start. Struggled a little bit up in Milwaukee against the Brewers. 5 innings, 11 hits, 7 earned runs, and picking up that first loss of the season. You can see the numbers right there. 28 in the 3rd innings, only 14 strikeouts. Not the same kind of guy stuff-wise, but still has a good idea of what he's doing out there on the mound and tries to miss the barrel of the bat.
Rays will take on the Angels here tomorrow afternoon. The road trip will then move up to Seattle. A 3-game series against the Mariners. The Rays will be home on the 13th, just for the weekend, against the Oakland A's. That's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Well, let's take a quick look at that Angel defense and see how it's going to line up here tonight. Brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source in the outfield left to right. We have Daniel Nava, Mike Trout, and Cole Calhoun. Across the infield third to first, YUNEL ESCOBAR, Andrelton Simmons, Johnny Giavatella, and C.J. Cron with Giovanni Soto behind the plate.
Got a bit of a delay before this game gets underway. The umpires talking with Mike Scioscia. There was a delay last night when Tom Hallion, who was supposed to be part of this crew, was called away on a personal matter. So last night's game with 3 umpires. Scott Berry has joined this crew tonight, and the entire crew, Dan Bellino, will be calling the balls and strikes, having the conversation with Scott Berry and Adam Hamari and Tony Randazzo, the umpiring crew. So whatever all of that was about, we're going to go to the other side of this infield, where Kevin Cash will be involved in a conversation.
Our first review.
And we're going to get a review, I guess, right from the beginning. So before Logan Forsythe can step in, we're going to see what this situation is here. You know, the only thing, and of course it's all conjecture, that's one of the issues, you're never quite sure what it is specifically when they go to a review process. And certainly before the game has started, the only thing that you might think about would be the lineup. But that's, again, pure conjecture here. Bellino, after his conversation with Kevin Cash, striding to the mound to inform Jared Weaver what's going on. And I guess if it could affect anybody, it would be the starting pitcher more than anyone. So Molino's out there with Weaver now. Scott Berry's talking with the Rays skipper Kevin Cash, and Tony Randazzo checking in with Mike Scioscia. So how about all of this?
I mean, very, very strange. Obviously, never seen a game start like this before, and it would be nice to have somewhat of a clue on what's going on. A lot of meetings are being held. Sounds like our off season. A lot of meetings.
Exactly right. Well, whatever it was, will now not prevent the game from starting, and the first pitch will be delayed no longer. And Logan Forsythe steps in against Weaver. And the first pitch is a strike call. Now the game begins at 11 minutes past the hour. And a liner into left off Forsythe's bat. The Rays have a base runner on the second pitch of this game.
Well, the key for the Rays lineup here tonight is going to be patience against JERED Weaver. We mentioned that he doesn't have the same stuff as he used to. His average fastball here in 2016 is 81.9 miles an hour. He's going to cut it, curveball, slider. I mean, he's going to throw the kitchen sink at you, but with not a lot of velocity. So patience will be a virtue.
Brad Miller coming off a big night last night. 4 hits, including a home run. And right away, Weaver keeping an eye on Forsythe at first base.
JERED Weaver's given up 3 stolen bases in 4 attempts. A lot of moving parts out there on the mound.
Ball to Miller.
You can see how he tries to speed that leg kick up just a little bit to help out with his delivery to the plate because he has that long arm swing. Takes time.
Miller takes a strike. It's a ball and strike count on Miller. Pop to the left side. Escobar back at third, near the line, fair, and makes the catch. So Miller's out of there. We're getting some bits and pieces that the delay of this game had something to do with technical problems with the replay. So even before the game started, replay was delaying the game. And here is Evan Longoria. Evan with 5 home runs, 15 runs batted in. Forsythe at first, started with a line base hit into left. And our Buick GMC big matchup back home at Angels Stadium. Longoria with 6 home runs and a .308 average. Floats in there for a strike. Starting to stop off first there by Forsythe, and Longoria takes the pitch in. 0-2.
Well, you start to try to time up the man on the mound and see if you can get a good read, a good jump. Maybe think about taking advantage on the base paths here tonight.
Well hit back into center. Mike Trout is there though and makes the catch. 2 gone and back to first goes Forsythe.
And I think that the approach tonight for the Rays off of Jared Weaver would be best served to think about being up the middle. Try to stay up the middle. You know that if he does come in, he's not going to be able to beat you in with velocity, so your hands are going to be able to be quick enough to get to that pitch, but he's going to try to stay away from getting hurt middle in, so he's going to, you know, pitch out over the plate, down and away. So the best approach here for the Rays is to think about going up the middle, and they'll get pitches to hit, be able to drive them.
Corey Dickerson last night snapped an 0 for 23 with a first inning home run. There goes the runner. The pitch is swung on and up to the right side. GIAVOTELLA in shallow right out there. The second baseman makes the catch. Rays lead a man. We got to the bottom of the first, no score. Another little get-together between innings here, between half innings, with Mike Scioscia and the umpiring crew. Let's take a look at Mike Scioscia's lineup for the Angels, presented by your Southern Ford dealers. YUNEL ESCOBAR leads off, followed by Daniel Nava and then Mike Trout. Albert Pujols and Cole Calhoun, beg your pardon. C.J. Cron, followed by GIAVOTELLA, Soto, and then Simmons.
Now taking the mound tonight for the Tampa Bay Rays, right-hander Jake Odorizzi, still looking for that elusive first win, even though he's pitched very well and pitched well enough to certainly earn one. 4 of his 6 starts this year, he's given up 1 or 0 earned runs, and yet not a whole lot to show for it.
He faces Escobar, who's playing third base here for the Angels. The first pitch is a little bit high. Dan Bellino calling the balls and strikes, and he has a tendency not to be overly liberal calling that high strike. Well, out of play, it's 1-1. In fact, that's not his favorite part of the zone to exploit. Not a lot of strikes up normally with Bellino behind the plate.
And if I'm a pitcher, I love that, for the simple reason that when I go up, I'm going up there for a swing anyway. So if you're not going to give it to me, I don't really need your help on the elevated fastball. I'm hoping that they swing through that pitch or pop it up. Maybe give me a little off the edge.
Positioned perfectly. Forsythe takes that hard hit ball and makes the throw to Morrison, 1 away. Shade toward the middle for Forsythe to get Escobar.
Let's take a look at that Rays defense and see how it lines up tonight. Brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. In the outfield left to right, we have Desmond Jennings, Kevin Kiermaier, and Steven Souza Jr. Across the infield third to first, Evan Longoria, Brad Miller, Logan Forsythe, and Logan Morrison with Hank Conger getting the start behind the plate.
Here's Daniel Nava. You'll recall, spent a little time in a Rays uniform. Last year hit .233 with the Rays in his time there. The pitch is a strike. Fouled straight back. The fastball, 0-2.
You see the swing there at Daniel Nava. He tells you where he wants. He wants the ball kind of down in the zone, wants to get his arms extended, a little bit of an uppercut swing. And these are the instances where you can beat Daniel Nava up in the zone. And that's something that Jake Odorizzi is very proficient at.
And he goes up and gets him to chase it. So he got ahead and went up for the first strikeout.
I mean, that's just absolutely textbook in following the game plan. Daniel Nava very susceptible to this pitch because of his swing path. Can't lay off of it, and that swing's never going to get it.
Mike Trout. Trout 2 for 3 in his young career against Odorizzi. Looks at a first pitch strike. Trout still just 24 years old. One and one.
Boy, hard to believe with his level of production and how many years he's done it that he's just 24.
It's pretty incredible when you put together his numbers. It's a high foul ball that's going to carry out of the reach of Souza Jr., who's over there. I mean, he's been an offensive machine since breaking it with the Angels. And you look at this, look at the runs scored.
And it's not even close. In first by a wide margin.
He takes this one the other way. Base hit into right.
Well, the one thing that you know about great hitters, and Mike Trout for sure, is the ability to make adjustments, even within an at-bat. You know, right there, Jake Odorizzi's staying away from him, so he just waits on it and then rifles that ball out into right field.
Albert Pujols. Tough for the Rays to get out last year. He was 11 for 26 off Rays pitching. He was on twice last night with a single and a walk, went 1 for 3. A ball.
That was a great shot of Mike Trout trying to time up Jake Odorizzi. Doesn't run as much as he used to, but still has that ability. And you can see him leaning and trying to get a read on Jake. Maybe trying to get in the scoring position here with 2 outs.
Odorizzi with only 1 decision. He has had a little issue early in games. And the big issue is lack of run production for him.
Well, his last 2 starts, he's given up 2 earned runs in 12 innings. The Rays have scored him 2 runs when he's been on the mound. end up playing for the tie. And you're right, 9 of his 12 earned runs given up have come in the first 2 innings. And once he settles in, he's usually good to go. It's that quick start you're looking for.
He picks up a strike. Side look. And there is the breakout for Jake through his first 6 starts.
Well, that ERA certainly 6.75. You know, a lot of that came too in that start against Baltimore where he gave up 4 runs in the second inning and then had, of course, I think it was Boston, had a rough first inning.
Down to third. Longoria takes it to Forsythe to retire the side. The force on Trout down there. On to the second inning, no score. Is brought to you by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. And by your local Toyota dealers. Let's go places. Rays in Anaheim. Late night with the Rays. Game 2 of the 3-game series. Great to have you with us tonight. Steven Souza Jr. leading off against Jared Weaver. Bouncing the first pitch foul, strike 1. Six home runs for Souza Jr. 2.
Wait for it. Wait for it. You're going to see a range here tonight of about 84 to mid to upper 60s.
Upstairs, it's 1 and 2. The velocity, back as recent as 2010 was around 90. Tapper foul, count still 1 and 2, but from 2010 to last year, where the average velocity was about 83 on his fastball,
and further south even this year. And that's why, you know, guys above hitting speed are tough to hit. Guys below hitting speed can be tough to hit. You've got to be real patient, let that ball get into the zone. You know, you're so used as a hitter to having to make quick split-second decisions. You get a little bit more time with Jared Weaver.
Well, the other thing Weaver does, he gives you a lot to think about out there. Wide variety of pitches and pretty evenly spread out in terms of what he might throw you at any given point.
Yeah, he mixes very well. 5 different pitches, basically what it boils down to.
Well, it's still a 2-2 count. You saw his career numbers there, 141 wins. He had back-to-back in 2011 and 2012. Outstanding years. He was 18-8, then went to 20-5. Down to shortstop. Simmons is there. Hard to get much better than Simmons at shortstop, and that's one of the changes the Angels have made this year that represents maybe a fairly dramatic approach now in trying to build a team on pitching and defense. And getting Simmons in a long-term contract, a big step in that direction.
The play that we saw him make in batting practice today was like something I've never seen before.
Jaw-dropping.
It was. And I had to kind of recalibrate everything to make sure that's exactly what I saw. You know, they're out there turning double plays, hitting ground balls to Johnny GIAVOTELLA at second. Simmons coming across the bag, and the timing of the play was a little bit off, and the throw was out in front of Simmons, and he caught that thing, and in his throw to first just whipped it behind his back, like a behind-the-back pass in basketball, right to the first baseman, chest high.
Yeah, that seems impossible.
That's what I'm telling you. I'm like, I didn't just see that, did I? It was incredible.
Morrison out in front. He's down in the count, 0-2. Toward the Rays dugout, a foul ball. Just trying to make some contact there.
It's such a change from what you're used to. You know, we talk about, it seems that every game we talk about the stuff in the game now, pitching wise, the velocity, the sharp breaking balls. And Jered Weaver completely on the other end of the spectrum, guts and guile, just moving the ball around, giving you different looks. Slow and slower and slowest is his game.
The hot shot, base hit. Morrison hits it hard through the shift. The Rays have their second hit of the game. 1-out single in the second.
Well, really, that's the only way that you can get it through the shift. If you're going to hit the ball on the ground, you've got to smoke it. And that's what Morrison did. Trying to go up. And still not enough on the velo.
Desmond Jennings. Pitch is low. Well, Morrison, who had played with Seattle's, you know, in the same division in the West with the Angels, so there had been some matchups before. Morrison had 13 at bats against him, only a couple of hits, but a base hit his first time up tonight. One and one to count on Jennings. Two. Breaking ball. Desmond with a home run and 6 runs batted in.
Well, it'll be interesting to see the Rays the second time through the order.
because that's usually when teams do their best work against Jered Weaver. Once they see the speed, get used to the speed.
Morrison back in at first. High fly ball into left. That's got carry. Nava, how much room will he have? Enough to catch it. On the track out there in left. And back to first goes Morrison. A pretty good shot by Jennings. This gives you kind of an idea of how this park plays. We talked earlier about the Angels trying to go pitching and defense, and this park will favor pitching a bit. Not overwhelmingly, but it does skew to the pitcher. And that ball got to the track, and that was it.
Well, you know, you look down the line in left field, 347, and it gets out to 390 on the other side of the bullpens. So there's some room out there. Just enough to make that catch.
Here's Kevin Kiermaier. Strike one. Well, what a different experience it must be for these hitters to come up after consistently seeing 90 and so often mid-90s in almost every pitcher you face. And then here comes Jered Weaver.
Your whole internal clock and timing is thrown off. Look at how far out in front, you know, is Kevin Kiermaier in that. He's seen 81, now 74. You're used to seeing, you know, 93 to 97 with an 88-mile-an-hour slider. And that's why there's a little bit of an adjustment period. Second time through, that will be when you hope that the Rays can light him up.
And diving back in is Logan Morrison.
Logan does have a stolen base on the season, and I think that Jered Weaver thinking that maybe in this situation the Rays try to steal one here with 2 outs, get a runner in scoring position, paying some attention over there to Mr. Morrison.
He's off, and the pitch is rolled foul on the breaking ball, so the Rays did have Morrison on the move. To what you were talking about, VA, you're right on. First time, second time through. Opposition hitting 325 against him overall, but 275 first time through and 381 the second time through. So we'll see how the Rays fare tonight in that situation against Weaver. Rays had a base runner in the first when Forsythe singled. Morrison at first with 2 outs now in the second inning. Skied towards center. That's Mike Trout. And the top of the second inning is over. The Rays leave a man. No score through an inning and a half. Scoreless moving into the bottom of the second inning. Rays trying to get back to the 500 mark. Our greater coverage of baseball is brought to you by T-Mobile, and a look into both the American and National Leagues. And Chicago dominating the Cubs' best record in the majors at 23-6, and the White Sox trying to keep pace with the Cubs' best record in the American League at 20-10. Cole Calhoun swings through the first pitch. Bottom of the second inning is underway.
You know what's interesting too about the Cubs record is they have played, let's see, the Pirates, the Cardinals, and the Washington Nationals. I believe now they've played them 9 times, and they're 8-1 against those teams. That's your biggest competition in the National League, and they are running roughshod over everybody. And the White Sox, the start that they got off to, and they're still maintaining a good pace.
Yeah. Chicago beat Washington 8-5 again.
And they were down big early in that game, 5-1, 5-2.
Calhoun fouls it back, still a 2-strike count.
It's a long season, but you're seeing, at least in the Cubs case, some separation starting to be built upon.
Two strikes to count to Calhoun. Rizzi goes up. Calhoun just 4 at-bats against Jake. He's 1 for 4 against him. And there's the Angel first baseman on deck. Ground ball, and right there for it, nicely positioned Miller. Brad throws him out.
And that was a really nice play by Brad Miller. That ball, I don't know if it came off the mound a little bit funny, but he kind of overran it. Watch him heading up the middle. A funny little hop. Right there, yeah, hit that mound, took that high hop, and he just plays it off to the side, glove side, very well.
That'll be C.J. Cron. Cron is 10 for his last 21. After a slow start, he's swinging a hot bat. 1-1.
Yeah, I would say that qualifies. Well, they're going to need this offense to score some runs. The pitching is challenged right now. And Garrett Richards the other day finding out a torn UCL, is going to have to go Tommy John surgery. He was their -- 1. C.J. Wilson, shoulder issues in spring training, and he's still playing long toss. He's not even back on the mound yet.
Yeah, he's not close to coming back.
No. Tyler Skaggs. This was a team that really went into spring training with the thought that they had a lot of depth in the pitching staff, specifically the starters, and that is being tested right now.
Two is foul up the right side. Out of play. Well, there's Garrett Richards and what he has meant to this club over the last couple of years. They're going to get another opinion on him, but with what he's facing, the distinct possibility of Tommy John surgery, and those would be major innings to try to fill. Again, a foul ball out of play.
Well, he just continues to pop that fastball in the same area. continues to be fouled off into the same area.
In the center, a lot of room out there. Kiermaier makes the catch. So finally, they retire Crone. Rizzi made 9 pitches to get the Angels' first baseman.
The one thing that Jake Rizzi continues to work towards is the efficient innings. You know, still not where he wants to be. That's something that he, you know, came out a couple of starts ago and talked about, wanting to become more efficient like he was a season ago. Allowed him to pitch deeper into games. This year it's not been as easy.
Yeah, he trimmed a couple pitches per inning off his game last year compared to the year before. And to right, sees a junior there to take care of that line drive from Johnny GIAVOTELLA. 3 up and 3 down, no score through 2.
Scoreless game, 3rd inning. Hank Conger, who grew up nearby in Huntington Beach, flew out before the team on the off day because he wanted to catch up with his family. And here is what he was looking forward to with his home-cooked meal.
The main thing is she cooks her homemade galbi, you know, her short rib, and so the joke is she won't ever tell me the recipe because she says if I do, that I'll never end up coming back home. But yeah, so I get to spend time with my mom and dad, and I mean, we have a pretty close family, so I try to spend time with them as much as possible.
We will hear more about Hank Conger's diet as a kid later on, guys, including a massive amount of chicken McNuggets that he took apart right before baseball practice. Back to you.
I want mom's playbook. That's a smart mom on top of it, right?
Absolutely.
Don't ever give up the info.
No. There's Conger out in front of that pitch, strike 1.
Just come on back home and enjoy, son. I like it.
It's called leverage. And something that every parent needs and can utilize.
Boy, is that not the truth?
A 1-1 count. Conger trying to find something from Weaver he can leverage, but nothing yet. He's behind in this count, 1-2.
That's the slow stuff once again that gets Conger way, way out in front. Filling up that strike zone right now is JERED Weaver.
Well, that shows you how aggressive the Rays this year have been. Aggressive anyway. If it's a pitch, they're swinging, it seems. Certainly that's the case tonight. Ground ball, and that's going to skip through. A halting move by Crone. GIAVOTELLA, I think, reacted off that, and the ball got through.
Boy, what a miscommunication. I mean, you got to go for the baseball. Trust that your pitcher is going to cover the bag if you're CJ Crone. And he just comes off, he pulls off of it. GIAVOTELLA then with a late dive, he's assuming Crone's going to take it. And it gets into right field. Very sloppy in the Rays' benefit. That was very JV.
So for the second time, the Rays put the leadoff man on. They get a bit of a break there. Now Logan Forsythe. How about that pitch? 67, and it drops in there for a strike. You can see Forsythe almost do a double take with that pitch coming in.
This could be the Bugs Bunny game where you get 3 swings in on 1 pitch.
Stay tuned, folks. That could happen tonight. Lifted into right. Calhoun on the move, and he makes the catch. It's the first out. And Calhoun seemed to hesitate just a moment. I mean, he's an outstanding outfielder, Gold Glove. And of course, part of that could be the time of day here. And this park at this time of day can be difficult to pick up fly balls.
I'm about 50% so far in tonight's game. Balls off the bat. That made me feel a little bit better. I thought maybe there was a problem with me.
Brad Miller shoots this one into right. Conger's going to stop at second. Yeah, sometimes that's a phenomenon that occurs after a day off, but I'm going to blame the ballpark and the time of day right now.
I'm going with it.
And Brad Miller, who had a big night last night, 4 hits, including a home run, picks up a base hit his second time up tonight. You know, they used to talk about that twilight when Nolan Ryan would pitch here. Hitters could not pick up pitches, and what a feeling that must be with a guy like Ryan on the mound, and you're up there kind of feeling for pitches. I mean, that's hard enough to begin with. But this time of night, now Evan Longoria. Tap foul. Well, the Rays 3 hitters into the second time through against Weaver. We'll see how they fare.
Well, the one thing that we've seen here early on when you talk about how aggressive this Rays lineup has been is the number of swings off of first pitch off speed, changeups, curveballs, something you really don't want to see.
Yeah, the interesting thing about him, if you look at his numbers, early in counts, they have not been good. Coming in 7 of 17 on first pitches. Even when he's ahead, 0-1, the opposition hitting .333 against him. 1-0, 5 of 7, 1-1, 5 out of 12. So maybe there's a feel here that that's the way to approach him. We'll see. I mean, the Rays have certainly been aggressive tonight.
Well, and he knows that too. So, you know, he's coming out with the first pitch curveball at 67, the first pitch changeup at 73. And he's been getting the swings.
Foul out of play. You know, the Rays have had one full. Well, they haven't. They went 2-2. Souza saw a lot of pitches, but did not get to 3-2. Opposing hitters on 3-2 counts against Weaver this year, 1 for 12. One and 2 the count now on Evan Longoria. And he takes that slow breaking ball wide. 2-2. Corey Dickerson is on deck. count is full. So no sooner did we say that we have not seen a full count than here it is. And this has been a tough count for hitters for whatever reason against Weaver this year. 2 men on with 1 gone. Runners go. Evan pops it up. A foul ball, and that will carry into the seats. So we'll do it again. Hank Conger at second. Brad Miller at first. Weaver coming off a 5-inning stint on the road against Milwaukee when he gave up 7 runs and 11 hits. Three-two again. Runners go, and this one is skied into left center field. NAVA will go to the edge of the track for this one and make the catch. And back to first and second, Miller and Conger.
The Rays pressing the depths out there in left field. Desmond Jennings took Daniel Nava back close to the wall. Evan Longoria right there with Daniel Nava making that catch in front of the 390 sign in left center.
Our Toyota keys to the success. And for the Rays, look at the home run production there of runs scored by the Rays in terms of percentage breakdown. Second to the Mets in Major League Baseball with a 53.7% of their runs coming on home runs.
The fact that you can overtake the Orioles tells you all you need to know. I'll tell you something else too. Before this first pitch to Dickerson, the Rays have scored an inordinate amount of runs with 2 outs too. So how about another home run with 2 outs of the 3-run variety?
Yeah, it would seem this would be when they are most dangerous. Last night, the Rays connecting in the first. Dickerson's 3-run home run. And snapped the hitless streak for Corey at 0 for 23. And he fouls this one.
He was so far out in front that he took a swing and the little thumb guard came off. Now, he swings hard anyway, but way out in front, and watch the thumb guard. There it goes.
Miller first, Conger second, 2 outs and 2 strikes on Dickerson. And he is out on strikes. So Weaver gets out of that.
Lost the thumb guard again.
2 men left, no score through 2.5. The third, Rays and the Angels from Anaheim. Rays players need your support to get to the 2016 MLB All-Star Game. Go to RaysBaseball.com/vote and submit your ballot for all your favorite Rays players, including Kiermaier, Souza, Longoria, Dickerson, and Forsythe. You can vote up to 5 times every day. Vote early, vote often, vote Rays. Go to RaysBaseball.com/vote now. Giovanni Soto, the catcher, leads it off. Strike one. Soto lifts a fly ball into left. Jennings will go back for this one, and he has room to make the catch deep left on the track, and Jennings hauls it in.
It's a very popular hangout here tonight.
And Nava's been back there a few times and left for the Angels, and Jennings this time on Soto's shot to left. Andrelton Simmons. There's a homer and 6 runs batted in, batting .216. Coming over from Atlanta. That's a strike. Well, BA, you've already mentioned what he was doing in pregame drills out there. He is really something to watch as a shortstop. Remember when Ozzie Smith broke in, and what a sensation he was to watch. Simmons is really amazing at shortstop.
Well, the one thing that you're seeing in the game is so much of an emphasis placed on athleticism. And you're getting these athletic shortstops that and they're almost like magicians out there. The sleight of hand with the glove and the bare hand, and just perfecting and working at their craft. And right now he's at the top of the heap in Major League Baseball.
It's chopped toward the middle, and Forsythe makes the play. He had him played that way. So 2 up, 2 down. So far tonight, Odorizzi made 15 pitches in the first inning, 16 in the second, and he has 2 outs on 6 pitches in the third. That's a trend he would love to continue. .37 so far. And back to the top side, here's Escobar. Ball, no strikes. One and one. Upstairs. Escobar with 5 teams in 7 years, and if you counted the teams he officially was with but didn't play or spent just a few days with, it would be 7 teams.
You're gonna run out or lock it down somewhere.
He's got the Braves, the Blue Jays, the Marlins. I think he was with them for 10 days, but technically was not in the game. Then the Rays, the A's for 4 days, but didn't play for them. The Nationals, and now the Angels. And Odorizzi walks him. Two-out pass will get Daniel Nava to the plate. Well, Nava's in left field. The Angels attempting to set up a platoon situation, and left Nava switch hitter, primarily left-handed, however, and his approach to offense. That's a strike. The Angels had, I think, 11 left fielders in the course of the 2015 season. They got 9 home runs out of left field, and the slugging percentage was .317.
Yeah, that's not good. All around, 11 different left fielders. That is really hard to believe.
And that's a position, those corner outfield positions, you hope to get some significant offense from those spots.
Trying to get the wave going here, Dwayne. That's what's going on. Pretty soon the beach balls come out.
Yep.
And you'll have one of the outfielders have to go back and step on one.
Well, they introduced the selfie record here last night. They had everybody in the ballpark take selfies, and that, I think, established a new record.
That's really good. I bet everybody went home so thrilled to be a part of such a wonderful event. It's very sad that we weren't here.
Yep. 2-1, skied to left. That sends Jennings back and in front of the track. He makes that catch. No runs, a walk, and a man left. We will go into the 4th, no score. Game on our hands. The Rays and the Angels moving into the 4th. From $2 Kids Day to $2 Dogs. Senior special to Student Rush. The Rays have something for everyone each night of the week. Check out those great specials at RaysBaseball.com/specials or call 888-FAN-RAYS now. Steven Souza Jr. will lead it off here against the veteran right-hander, Jared Weaver, Souza, Morrison, and then Jennings. Pitch is a strike. Two. Weaver has had a degenerative condition with his spine, and that's been one of the challenges for him as he continues to compete and gets a called third strike on Souza. He struck out Dickerson on 3 pitches to end the top of the 3rd, and a 3-pitch strikeout here to get Souza looking.
Boy, he just dotted up that fastball. 82 miles an hour, got some help from Soto. so far. I mean, in a completely different type of way, Jered Weaver has been very impressive here tonight, limiting hard contact.
Got the miss. The breaking ball from Logan Morrison.
That's one of those pitches. You know, you typically aren't up there looking first pitch breaking ball, let alone the slow breaking ball at 68 miles an hour. But the Rays, known for their aggressiveness, just continue to allow Weaver to work out in front in the count.
There's a roller to the left side. Escobar, the only man over there, and his throw is right there on the money. 2 gone. So strikeout and a ground out. Desmond Jennings. Jennings sent NAVA to the warning track in left in the 2nd inning. And NAVA sent Jennings to the warning track in left in the bottom of the 3rd. That's a strike. Low. We talked about all of the injuries to this pitching staff and the rotation. Garrett Richards has the possibility of facing Tommy John surgery. Angels also playing without Houston Street, their closer. He's on the disabled list.
Well, and they can ill afford to lose him for very long. I mean, this is a bullpen that's thrown the 2nd most innings in the American League. They've been called upon early and often by Mike Scioscia and been building up quite the workload.
Foul atop the Rays dugout. And back into the stands to take the count to 2-2.
Although that being said, they have been performing at a very high level. A very good bullpen.
Jennings takes the count to 3-2. Jennings started in the wrap-up game of the homestand against the Dodgers Wednesday. Snapped a hitless streak. Walked and singled in that game. And is out on strikes, but cut and a miss. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Weaver. Scoreless through 3.5. Mike Trout leads it off. On Fox Sports Sun is brought to you by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. By Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by your Southern Chevy dealers. We welcome you back to Southern California and another edition of Late Night with the Rays.
That was a look on your face when they showed Todd at the very beginning with the mustache, which, by the way, is one of the greatest pictures
That's
ever.
A great look.
Yeah,
Todd should consider that.
He's very excited, very happy, somewhat surprised, and with great facial hair.
1 strike to count on Mike Trout. 1-1. Trout singled with 2 outs in the first inning. The 1 hit given up by Odorizzi through the first 3. Trout takes it upstairs. 2-1. Trout 3 of 4 in his career off Jake. Ooh, a big cut there. Lost his balance. Trying to golf that one.
Turned it loose. Listen, he loves the ball down in the zone. And he took a rip there. That's why you see those fastballs Jake's giving him right up the top of the zone. Try to exploit that area.
And he strikes him out. Boy, how about that?
Yeah.
That big cut on the 4th pitch, and then that 5th pitch, just a challenge.
And that really is not exactly where Jake would want it. You want this pitch away, and they wanted it up. That's where you're getting into some dangerous territory, but he was able to take 93 and flip it right by Mike Trout. That's not easy to do.
Albert Pujols taking a first pitch strike.
You know, Jake's fastball plays bigger than it is. You know, watch him through his motion. He's very quiet. He explodes at the end. Everything just kind of lulls you to sleep, and then here it comes. And that 92, 93, we see swings at that pitch like it's 95, 96.
Yep. Trout took a couple of big cuts right there. And came up empty. Ball, 2 strikes. Holtz 0 for 1 in this game, is hitting in 9 of his last 11. Over 320 in that stretch. Sends it into center field, and Kiermaier is right there for it. Some of that power gone, and he's out in front.
It's a big inning for Jake. You know, second time through the lineup, and you're going to start with Trout and then Pujols and Calhoun. You're able to overpower Trout. You get Pujols way out in front. Just continue to roll right along. And, by the way, you're doing it efficiently, which is another goal. Keep them off the scoreboard and get in and out of these innings quickly.
Cole Calhoun. Rays defense him around to the right side again with Miller up the middle. Miller made a nice play on the ball he hit back in the 2nd inning. By the mound, Miller to his right with a backhand, and the throw right there to get him. Another nice play. Calhoun is out of there. 3 up and 3 down. This time Miller moving to his right, throwing across his body against his momentum. On to the 5th, no score.
talks about how many Chicken McNuggets he ate once before baseball practice.
I was eating nuggets and I was hungry, so I just kind of kept ordering 6 nuggets at a time, and next thing you know, I kind of ended up eating 72 out of nowhere before practice.
By themselves or sauce?
With the sauce. You mix the sweet and sour, and then you pour the barbecue with the sweet and sour, so you kind of make a hybrid.
So he had his own concoction for the dipping sauce, but guys, 6 nuggets at a time, 12 different orders, 72 total nuggets. Then he goes and has an hour-and-a-half baseball practice. He said he grew up in a family, a Korean family, where their mantra was eat more, grow stronger. So in that case, 72 nuggets was his pre-practice meal.
How do you do that?
Go out and play.
Yeah, do anything besides just retire to the couch for a few days. 72 nuggets.
Well, it's the Conger Grow Stronger plan.
With sauce. See, I thought for sure if you're going through 72, you're going raw. You're just going raw. There's no sauce. It adds up. It adds up, Dwayne.
Hot shot, line drive, base hit for Kiermaier into right field. And the Rays put the leadoff man on base. Leadoff single in the 5th. 3rd time the Rays have had a leadoff hitter aboard tonight. Let's see if it leads to something here. So far, a scoreless game.
Well, and if you're JERED Weaver, you had better keep your eye on Kiermaier over there at first base. This is one of those instances where you can see Kiermaier trying to pick up a stolen base here, put something in motion. This game's stagnant. Make something happen.
Weaver with a quick step back with that in mind, and a look at Kiermaier. Out front. Conger had a base hit into right in the 3rd, slipped it through between the first baseman C.J. Cron and Johnny GIAVOTELLA, the second baseman. Again, a move on Kiermaier. We have 3 of 5 in the running game. Quick step back, now a throw, and he's back in.
Cat and mouse game, and he certainly is paying attention to Kiermaier. Thinking right along with probably what everybody else is somebody's got to make something happen, and this would be the time to do it. So really slowing the game, becoming much more deliberate here is JERED Weaver.
And again, well, here's a situation where the Rays are hoping that he's paying so much attention to Kiermaier, he'll make a mistake with one of his pitches to the plate. And Hank can implement the Conger Stronger plan with a little sauce. There goes Kiermaier. Good jump. Pitches up, and he steals it easily. 4th stolen base for Kiermaier.
That was way too easy. Good jump there, but even regardless of that, you can see that ball doesn't get out there until Kiermaier's almost past the bag.
So Kiermaier steals his way into scoring position. So a man at second with nobody out. Conger offers at that pitch up, trying to bunt it, and it was up and out of the zone. Puts him down 1-2.
Kind of got caught there, not getting that bat back in time, thinking he's going to be able to get out to it. You can see he definitely offered at that pitch.
Breaking ball, and he took a big cut on that high breaking pitch, fouling it.
That pitch hung. That hung, it stayed up there. It was actually bad enough that all he could do was foul it off because it was so high. I want to drive Kiermaier in here, but at minimum, a productive out.
And a pickoff play, that ball loose, but will be run down by Simmons. So Kiermaier's still on Weaver's mind. You can see Simmons, that ball got away. It was almost, if you could see him check with Kiermaier and say, stay right here, I'll be right back. I got to go get this ball that's rolling in the center.
Or maybe with how aggressive Kiermaier is, he's trying to bait him. Like, go ahead, go.
Into the dirt, blocked by Soto.
Good block right here, sliding over, letting that ball up into the chest protector, keep it right in front. Boy, Simmons, and you're right, paying an awful lot of attention.
Little tapper. Weaver lobs it to first. Holding it second is Kiermaier.
Yeah, and that's, you know, if you're going to make it out in that situation, you want it to at least be a productive out, move base runners. You know, this is where the Rays have had a hard time scoring runs. And you love the home run, you love the fact they have that power potential through the lineup, but you don't want to get so one-dimensional that that's the only way that you can score. You know, that's one of the knocks against, you know, the Baltimore Orioles have a hard time manufacturing runs, and these are the situations. Move the runner, get him over, get him in.
Now Logan Forsythe. Logan takes a strike. You know, one of the reasons the percentages are so great when you get a man on to start an inning, and especially when that guy's at second with nobody out, is the idea that you can execute to get him over to third. Then a ground ball most likely scores him. 0-2 now to Forsythe.
What ends up happening is you take an aggressive team, you put a runner in scoring position, and you get even more aggressive. Well, you want to drive that guy in, and so you go from aggressive to uber aggressive, and a smart pitcher can take advantage of that.
It's inside. How about this for a ratio? Before that pitch to Forsythe, Weaver had made 72 pitches. 56 for strikes and only 16 out of the zone.
We're in the fifth.
Yep. Now Kiermaier heads to third. Throw down, not going to be in time. He steals third base. So the Rays, with Kiermaier's speed, forcing the issue. And so Kiermaier has stolen second and now third.
And you know what? He was stopped too. This is just pure foot speed by Kevin Kiermaier. Gets in easily once again, and I guess just do it yourself. Get over the third with less than two. Now, imperative that you get him in. And speaking of in, comes the infield.
First time that either team has had a man at third, and the infield is up. Forsythe trying to punch that one, fouls it right back into the screen.
Well, JERED Weaver already sitting on 2 strikes, so he's going for the strikeout. Not a big strikeout guy, but he is going to test your patience and ability to sit back and wait.
And he strikes out Forsythe. Big strikeout for Weaver.
Wow. And Logan, you know, so good at situational hitting, putting the ball in play, making something happen to help out his ball club, and he just gets 82. It's like a little front door cutter, and he just pulls off of it. Just a little bit too quick right there.
Well, now it's Brad Miller. And we saw Miller last night go 4 for 5. He has a base hit in 2 at-bats in this game. And that's what it apparently is going to take to get the run home in the 5th inning. Down and in. Ball, no strikes. He takes this one away. Scoreless game, top half of the 5th. Takes it for a strike. Molino gave the high strike there, something that you don't see a lot of, and that one was in the upper reaches of the strike zone. And a strike on the inside corner there. 2-2. Foul ball. Oh, the breaking ball there. 2-2.
He took even more there. A couple of fastballs in, but with the off speed down and away at 70. He just continues to move the ball around.
And Miller pops it up. Simmons makes the catch, and the Rays leave Kiermaier in third. Scoreless through 4.5. Coming up from Anaheim, Duke Energy is proud to support the Rays and Tampa Bay area veterans. For every game the Rays win, Duke Energy donates $1,000 to area agencies working to support our veterans. Duke Energy, powering Florida with more than just energy. They're supporting our veterans and other local charities too. C.J. Cron leads it off, followed by GIAVOTELLA and then Soto. First pitch, a strike on the outside part of the plate. It's 1-1. Cron went 3-2 and hit a fly ball to center in the second. Up the middle and a base hit into center. Cron continues to get aboard. He's been hot lately.
Well, he's got a lot of power to all fields, and that ball you could see, even though it was hit on the ground, understand some of that power. This ball was hit flush right back up the middle. I mean, Rays defenders didn't even get out of their stance.
Leadoff man aboard for the Angels in the 5th inning. First time they put the leadoff man on. GIAVOTELLA, the second baseman. Runner goes and the pitch is chopped foul. GIAVOTELLA, a very good contact man. In fact, his rate of contact last year among the highest in baseball. So they're not afraid to start the runner with him up there.
No, and then, you know, they have the same strategy, the same thought that we're having up here that Kevin Cash is having down there. You've got to make something happen. There's just no movement in this game, and so you get a leadoff runner aboard, you put him in motion, and you let your contact guy maybe try to find an opening.
Contact toward the middle. Forsythe's going to have to go to first. Safe the call off the bag. Cron moves into second base. And GIAVOTELLA safely aboard at first.
And there was a split second there that Logan Morrison's foot came off the bag, and it must have been right when the ball entered the glove. It was a nice play by Logan Forsythe, and the Rays wanted to take a look at that to see how close it was. Tough throw. Let's see when that foot comes off. You see that ball goes into the glove, the foot coming clear of the bag.
I think the Rays will elect to take a look.
That's going to be awfully close. The one thing the Rays have going against them is the call on the field is safe. So you've got to find something that is absolutely clear and convincing. Let's see if they do.
Cody Randazzo and Scott Berry. Here's another look. See what you think.
But that is close. Ball right into the back of the glove. There, you can see it actually hit the glove. Is that foot still connected? Tough to tell with the depth perception, but
yeah, that's going to be the challenge.
yeah.
And as you point out, to get the call overturned, it has to be clear and convincing. Right now, the first two men are aboard. The Rays challenge the call. See if we can get the. We're still not going to get the depth on this angle, but we'll get the freeze on it anyway. Foot only has to be in contact a nanosecond, but establishing that will be the issue. So the Rays challenge. And Odorizzi continues to stay loose, tossing a few pitches to Conger. 5 pitches into the inning, and now the stop. So GIAVOTELLA will remain at first. Safe at first, the call. .235, the announced time of the delay.
Well, I think the lack of the depth perception hurt the Rays there with the call going against them the first time through. Awfully close.
So a major threat for the Angels. They have Giovanni Soto, their catcher. The ball to the warning track and left in the third. And at first and second, nobody out in the fifth. He shows bunt, takes the pitch down. Andrelton Simmons is on deck, the shortstop, followed by the top of the order, YUNEL ESCOBAR. And the bunt, it's a good one. Plays it first, look out, that throw into the runner. And Forsythe had to stick his head toward the baseline there and just got out of the way in the nick of time.
Man, that could have been disastrous. You know, Jake Odorizzi's coming off the mound. His first thought in fielding that, he took a quick look out to second base, see if maybe you couldn't cut down a lead runner, and then turned and threw that ball flat-footed to first, and it sailed in a little bit. Logan about got his hat spun.
Here, look at that. Ooh, get out of the way.
Boy, caught him right on the tip of the nose, looked like.
Now it's Simmons, the shortstop. And he punches a base hit into left. Crone scores. They're going to see GIAVOTELLA. He will score standing, and the Angels take a 2-0 lead. The Angels cash in on their opportunity in the fifth.
Well, that's the difference. The Rays had the opportunity, didn't take advantage. You turn it around and hand an opportunity to the Angels, and on the very first pitch, they take full advantage.
Simmons driving in his 7th and 8th runs of the year. And the first 2 runs in this game. You know, people have come to think of Simmons as a great shortstop and a light hitter. He hit .265 last year for the Braves and drove in 44 runs. And for a shortstop who can play it the way he can, those are pretty good numbers offensively. And he drives in 2 right here.
Yeah, and you would think that he would continue to build off those numbers as young as he is. He took advantage of a pitch that stayed up in the zone there and just shoots it with authority out into left field.
Now YUNEL ESCOBAR. Strike on the edge. Ground ball back to the mound. Out at second, and a wide throw, but the tag at first to get the double play. So ESCOBAR grounds into 2. That limits the damage. 2 runs. We'll go to the 6th. 2-0 LA. Anaheim, where the Angels lead the Rays 2-0. Here's what's coming up tomorrow on Rays Live. The pregame show is presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. MLB will be celebrating Mother's Day, and Orestes will break down Albert Pujols, the DH and first baseman for the Angels. Their shortstop Simmons has driven in both runs with a line single into left. In the bottom of the 5th, on to the 6th we go. Evan Longoria leads off and taps it foul. Evan 0 for 2, a couple of fly ball outs tonight, one to the track and left in the 3rd. Rays are facing Jered Weaver, who throughout his career has been very good at home in this ballpark. He's 75-30. In fact, he's won 10 of his last 12 decisions here at Angels Stadium. And he got out of a spot in the 5th when the Rays had the leadoff base hit by Kiermaier. He stole 2nd and 3rd and was stranded at 3rd. 1-2.
Well, we continue to see these big swings from the Rays. Off balance, out in front, another slow breaking ball.
Curveball that stayed up, and he chases it. Longoria is out on strikes.
Boy, a couple of out of control swings there by Evan to finish off this at bat. A curveball that stayed up. Even whacking Soto in the backswing.
Soto directing the defense. They shift on the right side. Corey Dickerson 0 for 2 tonight. He takes the first pitch for a ball. A 2-run ball game. Now he takes this one 2-0. Dickerson up there in the 3rd inning with a couple of men on, and he was aggressive and struck out. He has taken 2 pitches this time around. That's ball 3.
He's not doing him any favors, and that's the way you've got to approach Jered Weaver. Too often here tonight, the Rays hitters have done him favors, swinging at first pitch slow curves, swinging at first pitch changeups, swinging really so out of control swings.
It's 3-1. This 3-1 count, the 3rd 3-ball count the Rays have had tonight against Weaver. Ground ball right side. Weaver races to the bag, and he missed it. He missed the toss, and Dickerson is aboard.
What was, I'll tell you, we saw a play earlier where C.J. Cron pulled off a ball. Johnny Giavotella was lulled to sleep by that, and then the dive. Cron, what is he doing here? Now he comes way off the bag to make the play, but watch the turn and the flip. You've got time here to set your feet. He just turns and underhands this ball from no man's land. Force your pitcher to go up high to make a play, and then come down, and you see clearly misses the bag.
Well, that'll be an error charged to Cron, and Weaver comes out of that. And we're not right now sure that he's 100%. Reaching for that toss and then trying to find the bag and missed it. And remember now, he has the degenerative spine situation, and so the Angels have to be very careful Molly, the left-hander, gets up in the bullpen, and here's Weaver going over there.
But awkward there on the landing. Did not stick the landing.
So he says he's feeling well enough to stay in.
And by the way, Corey Dickerson's thumb guard is still laying halfway between the on-deck circle and home plate.
And Steven Souza Jr. steps in. High curveball, 1-0.
There it is.
Takes it too low, 2-0. Souza with a ground ball to short. He was caught out on strikes in the fourth, ahead in the count as he bats in the sixth inning. Three and 0.
The Rays finally here in the last couple of at-bats showing some patience, and Weaver not getting those early swings is now falling behind.
There's a strike, 3-1. More action in the bullpen for the Angels. A trip to the mound by Soto, and Cam Bedrosian is now up in the bullpen along with Molly, the left-hander. Bedrosian was in the game for an inning last night.
That bullpen last night went 6 2/3 scoreless, and they have been on quite the run lately. They'll be in this game before you know it.
One on, one out in the sixth. And there's a strike. Souza thought he'd be on his way to first, but another high strike. And a step back by Weaver sends Dickerson back to first base. Runner on the move, and a long one, but well foul. Headed for the upper deck. Dickerson retraces his steps, and we'll see another 3-2 pitch to Souza Jr. High fly ball into left. That will send Nava to the wall, and he runs out of room. That one is gone. Home run for Steven Souza Jr. And the Rays get two to tie the game.
The mistake by C.J. Cron gives the Rays a base runner. Steven Souza Jr. works a long at bat and finally gets a hanging breaking ball. And this time able to find a little extra distance in left field.
Souza's 7th home run of the year. Well, you really got to hit it to get it out there, and he did. Logan Morrison takes a strike. So with one swing of the bat, the Rays are even again. Morrison rolls it foul, puts him behind 0-2. Well, Souza was on a couple times last night, actually 3 times, with 2 hits and a walk. He had a double last night, scored a run in the 4-run first when he walked. And here in the 6th inning tonight, it's the Rays on the board with a 2-run home run. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Up left side. Escobar makes the catch. That'll be the 2nd out of the inning.
Left fielder, number 8, Desmond Jennings.
We'll get Desmond Jennings to the plate in the 6th inning. Weaver came into this game 5-5 in his career against the Rays, covering 12 appearances. Ground ball 3rd, picked by Escobar, and the throw in time. So the Rays get 2, one of them unearned runs. So 2 runs, 1 hit, the home run, an error, nobody left. And we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. On the home run by Steven Souza Jr., this game is tied 2-2. Souza Jr. on a 3-2 pitch, 2-run blast has tied this game. By the way, opposing hitters had been 1 for 15 versus Weaver on 3-2 counts until Souza homered on that 3-2 pitch to tie it. Now we go to the bottom of the 6th. Daniel Nava fouls it out of play. Nava, Trout, and Pujols. Odorizzi back even in this game at 2-2. One and one. Fastball high. Action in the Rays bullpen. Cedeno the lefty, Ramirez the right-hander. Into the screen, foul, 2-2.
Well, and where we are in this game, bottom of the 6th, it's a tie ball game. It's the 3rd time through the lineup. It's the heart of the order because Jake Odorizzi, as you can see, the pitch count well in order at just 71, but yet the Rays have that bullpen humming along for any trouble.
Shot to center field. Kiermaier's there. 1 away. So the leadoff man in the inning retired, and that will get Mike Trout to the plate. Go to Rizzi's line. 72 pitches, through 5 1/3. 2 runs, 4 hits, and a walk with a couple strikeouts. Rays trying to get to the 500 mark. They were 2-2 at one point and 10-10. Right now they're 13-14. A ball, no strikes.
And that seems to be the territory where a lot of teams are residing here.
That's right.
A little over a month into the season, a lot of teams plus or minus a couple of games from 500.
Cut and a miss. Trout had that base hit in the first. Plays off the pitch up. It's 2-1. Well, you're right about the divisions and how close so many teams are to being just a little over or under 500. That ball's going to fall into left center. Kiermaier quickly there, and Trout makes the turn but stays at first. Well, a nice job of Kiermaier to get there.
You know, Kevin Kiermaier plays center field in instances like that, like he's playing against himself with the thought of, okay, this guy may be thinking of getting to 2 on this, but I'm going to come in hard. And then look at that, just an off-balance throw to get it in case there's any thought by Mike Trout of going to second base. Just an aggressive, very good play by Kevin Kiermaier that will never be able to log into a scorebook, but important.
Yep, he plays center field the way he runs the bases. You're right.
What would I do right here? You know he's thinking, I'm going for 2.
Yep.
So maybe this guy will too.
Now Albert Pujols. First pitch strike.
See, that's what we need to do, Dwayne. We need to get little, like for a giveaway item, a little wristband that says WWKD. And that's how you play it.
You may have come up with a great promo item. High. Odorizzi and Pujols in the 4th inning. He got ahead and then had him out in front of a pitch. To extend and combat that power. Had him out in front with that power spent. Get a fly ball to center, caught easily by Kiermaier. Ooh, low throw over there, and fortunately, Trout was in the way, getting back in.
Paying close attention to Mike Trout, and that last pitch, lest you think that Jake Odorizzi yanked it that far out of the strike zone on accident. That was like a pitch out where you're not telegraphing it, is what that was. You had the count in your favor, 0-1, so you fire one out there just in case Trout is running.
foul back into the screen. Takes the count to 1-2. Well, the Angels coming into this game, they're 7 of 16 running. And Trout had 2 of those 7 steals.
Well, that's something that the Rays catchers struggled with early on. They were posing base runners 15 out of 15 against them, 0 for 4 since.
And a cut and a foul-tipped strikeout right back into the mid of Conger. So they get Pujols on strikes. 2 gone.
Boy, how often do you see Albert Pujols miss a 92-mile-an-hour fastball right out over the plate where he can get extension? It pitches right there. And just a challenge that he comes up short on.
Cole Calhoun twice has been retired on ground balls toward the middle. Brad Miller has made both plays. And a toss over to first. Trout back in. Scott Berry on the call. Oh, and they throw it away. A pickoff attempt, and after all that attention, Trout moves up to second now on the low throw.
I wonder if that throw was just a little bit wide here. This would give you a great shot at it. Oh, and you know what? It actually clipped the back of Mike Trout before Morrison got his glove to the baseball, and so it just redirected it right over the top. It hit a couple of times over there, but ends up in scoring position.
So now Calhoun has a man in scoring position with 2 outs in the tie game. Upstairs, no ball, no strikes. Rizzi on that throw over to first, charged with his 3rd error of the year. And he falls behind Calhoun 2-0. Jim Hickey heads to the mound.
Obviously a very important part of this ball game, and in the 2-0 count, now a little change up in the strategy, something that could not be signaled to Hank Conger. It has to be delivered in person by Jim Hickey.
Well, they have C.J. Cron on deck. Calhoun, the left-handed bat, up in the count 2-0. Because of the error, first base open. Cron, power from the right side on deck. He already has a single tonight. 2-0. Is low, blocked by Conger.
Going after him like it's 0-2. You got that open base down there at first, and like you said, Cron on deck hit a ball hard up the middle his last at bat.
Three balls, no strikes. And that's a strike, 3-1. a fastball. Big cut. Full count.
Well, he challenged him up in the zone. And Jake Odorizzi, same type of swing that you see from Daniel Nava, Calhoun, that uppercut swing, and it leaves you vulnerable to fastballs up.
And it's fouled back.
See, went right back up there. And Calhoun able to foul it off. Oh, great scramble for the loose baseball, Dwayne, in the stands. Two guys completely zooed it, and a third walked off with it.
That's the way it always works.
Yeah, oh, they had a bead on it. They were, I mean, it looked like underneath the rim in a playoff game in basketball.
3-2 again, and it's fouled again. So we'll see another pitch here. 3-2. Crone, the on-deck hitter, academic now for the moment. About even against lefties and righties. In fact, a little better last year and more at-bats with his slugging percentage and on base and so forth against right-handed pitching. And Calhoun, at least for the first month of the season, has been the hotter hitter of the two. And he's been very good with men in scoring position. Odorizzi's worked his way back to a full count, and he gets him. Struck him out with a fastball up. Big strikeout for Odorizzi. Great job there to come back and strike out Calhoun. This game is still tied through 6.
Seventh inning, Hank Conger due up second in this inning. Took a little vacation during the offseason a couple of years ago to Thailand and ran into some big cats.
You know, I went over to Chiang Mai, which is obviously, you know, the jungle area, and you know, go feed tigers. I was a little scared about it.
Feed tigers with your hand.
Yeah, they weren't drugged at all. I guess they just kind of like, they feed them and they kind of have a cycle. But you know, when you're standing to one of those big old tigers and you're petting them, it's just it's pretty terrifying. And they made sure too. They were like, make sure you scratch them hard. And I was like at first you don't want to, but they're like, if you scratch them soft, they're gonna think you're tickling them and you're gonna anger them. So I was just scratching as hard as I can on the tiger.
Hank Conger, not a small guy. Tiger makes him look a little bit tiny, guys. He made sure not to tickle the tiger, though. Very important.
Yeah, you don't want to, I mean,
yeah,
that right there is a little concerning.
Yeah, a little closer than most of us would like to be.
Yeah, no question.
You don't even want to get that close to Miguel Cabrera.
No.
It's a little over the top. Kevin Kiermaier facing the left-hander Greg Mahle, and the first pitch is a strike. This lefty making his 12th appearance of the year. Drops down there. That's a different look, and he gets a strike out of that.
Well, now you got to go to work and try to put the ball in play. Cut down on the swing, and maybe use some of that speed.
You see, against the lefties, he's primarily fastball slider, and that's an uncomfortable angle for left-handed hitters.
No, and you know, when you're coming in out of the bullpen, you're only seeing these guys once. They're only seeing you once. It's a tough angle to pick up right away.
1-2. Mahle just 23 years old, out of University of California at Santa Barbara. Misses with the pitch inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And we've already seen him in this one at bat varying his arm angle. You know, at one sometime he's almost down submarine. That was more of a low 3/4, and now back down to way low.
And a way low pitch and a wave and a miss by Kiermaier. So Mahle strikes him out. Conger's going to be lifted. And our pinch hitter presented by Pinch a Penny, Kurt Casale, will come on now to hit against this lefty. Casale had a base hit in last night's game. He went 1 for 4. And waves and misses. Casale finished up the homestand with a couple of home runs. It's 1-1. Two balls and a strike. High towering fly ball into center. Trout takes care of that. 2 gone. Follow Rays Baseball live with the MLB.com at-bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with Game Day. Live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet. Top of the order, here is Logan Forsythe. 1 ball, no strikes. Logan singled in the first, since then a fly ball to right and a strikeout. Two 2-0 against Weaver tonight. He was like a lot of these Rays hitters, had a difficult time timing him and waiting on him.
And we talked about it from the very beginning. That was going to be, your patience was going to be tested, in the sense that you're going to have to sit back a little bit longer than you're accustomed to doing. And the Rays had issues with him all night until Souza Jr. saw enough pitches in that at bat that he got a hanging breaking ball and was able to tie this game up. Very fortunate.
3-1 now to Forsythe here, facing the lefty.
The lefty with the ever-changing arm angle.
Digs down and delivers that one a little lower. and finds the zone.
Yeah, that's three distinct arm angles for Molly. A couple of low ones, and then he's got that low 3/4. Just trying to flips it in there.
2 outs, bases empty, a full count to Logan Forsythe. The chopper will be handled by Simmons. The Rays are up and down in order against Molly the lefty. Middle of the 7th, 2-2 tie. With a 2-run single in the 5th. Gave the Angels the lead, but Steven Souza Jr. working the count to 3-2 following an error in the 6th inning. Plated 2 runs on that home run to tie it. And so we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, tied 2-2. And Erasmo Ramirez will be the new pitcher. Rizzi gave the Rays 6 innings, and boy, what a big strikeout, 2 big strikeouts to get Albert Pujols and then Cole Calhoun on strikes to end the 6th, leaving Mike Trout at second base. So it's Ramirez on. Kurt Casale behind the plate, a whole new battery for the Rays. And the first pitch to C.J. Cron is too low. So another no decision effort by Rizzi tonight. 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. That's a base hit to the left of Longoria into left. Cron is aboard to open the 7th, as he did the 5th with a base hit.
Man, that was a nice job by C.J. Cron, pulling the hands in and being able to get the barrel to the baseball. Once you do that, we've seen it, how it jumps off his bat. And he hit that one hard enough to get it by Evan Longoria. Dropped the hands real quick, down and in. That ball was hit hard.
Johnny GIAVOTELLA showing bunt, puts it down. Ramirez will take it to first. Forsythe covering. So a sacrifice, but now another sacrifice executed by the Angels.
Was it 1984? What's all this bunting and moving runners up? That was an early square around 2 by Johnny GIAVOTELLA, telling everybody what he's about to do, and he laid that out in front of home plate and decked it about as good as you can.
Here's the Angels catcher. Giovanni Soto. Popped up right side, shallow right. Morrison out from first, backpedaling, and he makes the catch. And a throw back to second base with Crone back in there. Boy, Soto, a towering pop, and it appeared to be a little shaky there on the back pedal by Morrison for a minute or two.
And there were a couple of dance steps that were thrown out in this thing. You get a great view of it here, way up and behind him. And now you get out and you start, there you go. You just make sure you catch it, that's all.
Yeah, I haven't seen steps like that since we were in Barcelona. Here's Simmons. Pitch is high, 1 ball, no strikes. Crone at second, 2 gone. Oh, into the dirt, a wild pitch that bounces by Casali, and over to third goes Crone. You know, Ramirez the last 2 or 3 times out has had issues with the changeup like that.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has. And has had trouble making an adjustment with it. This one he spikes right into the ground again, up and by Curt Casali.
Well, he needs to remedy that immediately with a man at third.
Yeah, and that's a big pitch for him. That's a go-to pitch for Ramirez. Now, how much confidence do you have going back to it?
The fastball runs in, way in. Well, those are 2 major misses.
I don't know if you could get more extreme. Yank one down and away, and then one way, way up and in. A lot of space right here, Dwayne.
But a perfect slant. 3-0. And the walk to Simmons. Jim Hickey heads to the mound again. It will be the top of the order coming up. YUNEL Escobar, one of the Angels, and a major conference on the hill. Crone's at third, Simmons at first. 2 outs in a 2-2 ball game at the bottom of the 7th. Ramirez in the game last night for an inning and a third, came in with the bases loaded and got Pujols on a fly ball that went all the way to the warning track in right field. Then he was touched for a run in the 8th. He leadoff double by Calhoun, who eventually scored. So here's Escobar. Did not face him last night. And a ground ball to second, picked up by Forsythe, and the toss to first in time to retire the side. 2 left. We go to the 8th. Still tied 2-2. right, Rich. Thank you. Rich and Orestes will be along following this one. Rays live the post game. We head into the 8th, and Brad Miller leads it off against this lefty. Takes a strike. Greg Mahle had a 1-2-3 7th inning. And from that varying low angles to the lefties, you can understand how he could be tough. Miller stays in there and takes that pitch off the plate end. Two. On deck is Evan Longoria. Miller fouls it away. Boy, he tried to will that front side to stay in for these left-handed hitters against Greg Mahle.
That's the challenge, and it's coming after 2 pitches in this sequence have been in and in off the plate. And you still got to tell yourself to hang in there.
Oh, fouls it again. Two tie. The Rays came back to tie it on the home run by Souza Jr. And strike 3 is called.
And how about that? After a steady diet of the extreme sidearm, almost submarine, all of a sudden Mahle changes that arm angle again, more traditional, and 92 right on the outside corner. Boy, that is a tough at-bat.
Well, he strikes out Miller. Will not face Longoria. Back in a moment. Rays baseball on Fox Sports Sun, brought to you by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. By Kubota. For more information, go to FloridaKubotaDealers.com. And by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Late night with the Rays from Anaheim, Angels Stadium. We're in the 8th inning. And a very, very good look.
Yeah, that was
color coordinated with the graphics. Very generous.
That was a good night. Recent.
All right. Well, Evan Longoria will face Cam Bedrosian. Bedrosian was in the game last night. The first pitch is a slider, strike 1. Fastball slider combination once in a great while, maybe off speed, but he's some variation of the fastball slider from Bedrosian. Now 1-1. Evan hit the ball to the track in left field in the third. He's 0 for 3. Struck out his last time. Takes the pitch away. It's 2-1. Evan faced Bedrosian last night and hit a fly ball to center. It's a big cut, gets a little piece of that one. 2-2. Bedrosian loading up on the slider. On deck is Corey Dickerson. Steven Souza Jr. would be next if the Rays could extend the inning. 1 out right now. Base is empty. Count will go full. Baltimore divided a doubleheader. Boston lost. Toronto lost. Rays with a chance to catch Toronto in the East. If they can win this one, they're tied in the 8th. There's a shot into left field, but NAVA is right there to make the catch. A line out to left, 2 away.
That ball was scorched by Evan, a hanging breaking ball. And I don't know if Daniel Nava had to move maybe a step, a half a step, right to him. Well, you get the feeling the long ball's going to decide this game.
Well,
one
here's
way
a
or the
guy
other.
who could do it right here. Corey Dickerson against Cam Bedrosian. Dickerson reached on the air in the 6th and scored on the home run by Steven Souza Jr. A little piece of it fouled. Strike 1. Ball misses. 1-1. It's too low. He's missed with a couple fastballs to take the count to 2-1.
If you can force Cam Bedrosian to have to come out over the plate, you see the fastball's got good velocity but very little movement. And it becomes a sitting duck when you force him out over the heart of the plate, and a good fastball hitter at the plate. So naturally.
Yeah. And he takes that pitch. 2-2, the breaking pitch in there.
You have the ability to throw breaking balls like that when you're behind in the count. Well, that is difficult to deal with.
Two balls, 2 strikes the count. And strike 3 call. Well, suffice to say, he caught looking at the fastball. We go to the bottom of the 8th, still tied.
For Hank Conger, baseball wasn't his first sport he played.
I was more of a Barkley type, and that's how my dad kind of raised me. So basketball was actually my first passion, and it was my dad's passion. And you know, one year I was that size right there at 12 years old, and he was like, "Hey, you know what? Why don't you play baseball? You know, you need to play another sport to keep yourself in shape." And then I ended up quitting basketball and playing baseball because I love baseball so much.
So Barkley, just rebound and you're the guy in the post?
Oh yeah, if I didn't box anybody out and I let somebody smaller than me get a rebound, I probably didn't get fed that night after the game and probably scolded.
Not getting fed wasn't good for Hank Conger. There you see the picture of him as a basketball player, guys.
He doesn't look real happy holding that photo up.
He looked happier in the photo than holding the photo.
You want me to do what? Oh, okay.
2-0 the count to Daniel Nava starting the 8th inning. Pitch foul, out of play. 2-1.
You know what? Maybe we've uncovered you think back about the chicken nuggets. Maybe he had a couple of bad basketball games in a row. Went to bed hungry, scolded. All of a sudden, 72 nuggets later.
Well, there's a definite theme that has been established throughout the evening with Todd's conversation held with Hank Conger. There's no question about that.
A lot of revolving around the food. Mom won't give up recipes. Crushed chicken McNuggets. Don't box out properly. Go to bed hungry. Perfect.
Swing and a miss. Nava, the first out of the 8th. Well, as we mentioned last inning, Ramirez has had a little issue with that changeup recently, and there was a quick conversation in the dugout with Jim Hickey.
Well, and that's what you listen. That's what Jim Hickey is there for. He's telling Jim, you know, how I feel. Rushing, getting out in front a little bit too much. He's yanked a lot of those changeups into the ground. That's where he's had the issues. And you know, Hick knows Erasmo Ramirez and his mechanics as well as anybody on the staff. And so they just kind of spitballing back and forth on how to get that release point back to the proper spot.
1-0 the count on Mike Trout. A miss on the other side. 2-0. Trout's numbers against Erasmo Ramirez. 6 of 16 with a long one. Takes it low. You can see a couple near misses in this sequence. But the count is 3-0.
And be careful down there, because that's where Mike Trout does a lot of his damage, is down in the zone.
And he's going for that pitch down there, 3-0. That's how much he loves that area.
Yeah, I mean, he really does. And it's known where a hitter takes his most aggressive swing, that's where he wants the ball.
Now it's fouled out of play. The count is full.
Well, the one thing this Rays staff has done here in this series against Mike Trout, they have not shied away from him. They have attacked him, gone right after him, and he has been red hot the last couple of weeks.
Bouncer to third. Longoria gloves and throws. Ramirez comes back from a 3-0 count to get Trout on the ground ball out at third base.
And nothing but fastballs. Not like he's trying to trick him. He just went 3-0. Here are 3 fastballs, and he gets the rollover.
Two gone, bases empty. Here's Albert Pujols. Pujols 0 for 3 tonight. It's inside. Erasmo faced Pujols last night and got him on a fly ball to deep right. close there. Moves him back. 2-0.
Ball just continue to track in. Push Pujols off the plate.
Ground ball, shortstop. Miller with the pickup and the throw to first. Strikeout and 2 ground balls. 1, 2, 3. We go to the 9th. Tied 2-2. Our game moves into the 9th inning. The Rays and the Angels tied 2-2 after the Rays took the first game of the series last night 5-2. Steven Souza Jr.'s home run, a 2-run home run in the 6th inning, tied it after the Angels had scored a couple runs in their 5th inning. So it's 2-6-1 for the Rays and 2-6-1 for the Angels. Each team leaving 5 men on base through the first 8, and Joe Smith takes over in the 9th inning for the Angels.
He's almost been in half their games, on for the 15th time. Actually, I think that is half their games at this point. 0-1 record, 3.60 in the earned run average in 15 innings of work. You can see he maintains strike zone discipline, just 1 walk, but only 8 strikeouts. And he has been dinged a couple of times with the home run ball.
Steven Souza Jr. leading off here in the 9th. The ball, no strikes. Two and 0. Will Smith, fastball, slider, and you can see from the side. Two and 1. Logan Morrison will follow, and then Desmond Jennings. Ground ball right side. That's going to go through. Souza's aboard. An aggressive turn as Calhoun comes up with the ball in shallow right. Souza takes it through the right side, an open right side.
Well, he does a nice job of staying inside the baseball. Joe Smith trying to run that ball in on Souza Jr. He stays inside, pulls the hands through, and pops it into that wide open hole on the right side. Leadoff man aboard. This is big.
Logan Morrison, 1 for 3 this evening. And he takes one low. He's now 2 runs, 7 hits. Souza's back in. Morrison had a base hit off Jared Weaver back in the 2nd inning, has grounded to 3rd and popped to 3rd the last 2 trips up. There's a strike on the corner. By the way, they've changed the error in the 6th inning on the throw made by Odorizzi, and they've charged Morrison with an error on that. That was just announced. Two and one. So instead of the 3rd error of the year charged to Odorizzi, that'll be the 2nd error issued to Morrison. Kind of a tough error for Morrison when the ball hit the runner.
Yeah, that's an interesting change. I mean, it was a wide throw by Jake. Logan Morrison is hanging on, trying to reach out there, maybe catch that ball while he's in the act of tagging Mike Trout, and the ball happened to hit Trout before and jumped over his glove. That's a real tough error.
Souza back in at first base. And again, a move to first. Smith giving up the leadoff single to Souza and keeping a close watch on him. Two teams, a day game tomorrow to wrap up the series. Matt Andriese will get the call up and make the start for the Rays against Nick Tropiano. And again, a move to first. Well, we'll be with you tomorrow at 3 o'clock. The Mother's Day telecast tomorrow.
Right after dinner, just settle in, enjoy a ball game.
Runner goes, pitch out. Now they're going to have him caught, and they throw it away. And back in the direction of second base goes Souza, and he is safely in there. Well, they had him in a rundown, and the throw was deflected and wound up in front of the Rays dugout. And that'll be an error charged to Simmons.
I'd give it to Crone. Well, they got him dead to rights here, but then you come back and you throw it. Yeah, Crone's got to make that catch. They'll change it. Unfortunate here.
The Rays get a big break on the pitch out. Angels guessed, and they guessed right. And Morrison takes the pitch inside for ball 4, and the Rays have the first 2 men on. Well, you may be waiting a while.
For the change on that one?
Yeah.
That just set up perfectly. We were just talking about it.
I mean, it did.
Now you're in a little bit of a fix. You start to think about Desmond Jennings putting a bunt down. That's what these guys are all talking about. How are we going to defend this? Small ball's been in vogue here tonight.
Well, we'll see what the Rays can do with this situation. And Rocco Baldelli went over and had a little conversation in front of the dugout, and he summoned Souza over to chat with him. Morrison, the runner at first, Souza Jr. at second. Desmond Jennings is the hitter. Crone close at first, Escobar in at third. And the bunt put down, Crone with a pickup. He's going to go to third, and they get the lead runner. Souza forced. It's 3-5, the first baseman Crone to the third baseman Escobar.
You can see Crone, he's already coming in quickly. He's got to turn, spin, and throw. Plenty of time to get the Rays lead runner. That was well executed by the Angel defense. A little tricky on the throw there. Nice job by Escobar.
Well, now it's Morrison at second base with Jennings at first. The Rays lose a little edge in speed. And here's Kevin Kiermaier. He takes a big cut. Strike one. Strike at the knees, 0-2.
A couple of frisbees to get ahead.
Kiermaier 0 for 2 in his young career against Joe Smith, and down 0-2 right now in the count. Ball, 2 strikes. Kurt Casale's on deck, so this is a key at bat for Kiermaier. Trying to work his way back in the count. Casale, the right-handed hitter. Kiermaier, the lefty. Ground ball, charged by Simmons. Out at second, no play at first. Rays will have men on the corners with 2 outs.
Yeah, there was no way they were going to be able to double up Kiermaier on that particular play. They did get him 2 times last night. First time that's ever happened in his career. But Simmons still quick to come in to be able to get that ball to GIAVOTELLA to get the lead runner.
Well, Kurt Casale will be facing Joe Smith for the first time in his career with men at first and third.
Maybe Kiermaier lets himself get picked off here and get in a rundown long enough to score Morrison.
Casale puts the pitch high, 1 ball, no strikes.
I think he can stay in it long enough. I think he could do it.
If anybody could, it would be Kiermaier.
It would be Kiermaier.
A ball, no strikes to Casale. Or how about just a base hit in the alley?
That'd be nice.
There's a strike.
And more traditional, too.
Well, the Rays 0 for 7 with men in scoring position, and that's been an issue. Continues to be. Too low. 2 balls and a strike. Casale pinch hit in the 7th inning for Conger. Smith finds the zone. Oh, that was is a borderline pitch.
Watch Giovanni Soto get down low and get underneath that baseball. He really did a nice job of presenting that borderline pitch well to Dan Bellino.
And ball 3, sweeps wide. Full count.
That's a pretty good take there by Casale on a tough pitch with 2 strikes.
Kiermaier will be off with the pitch. Morrison the runner at third. 3-2 and a tapper foul. Forcing another 3-2 pitch. Up in the bullpen. The game tied 2-2. And ball 4. Oh, what an at bat for Curt Casale to draw the walk. That loads the bases and sets up a Forsythe against Smith matchup.
Yeah, and not the matchup that Joe Smith was looking for. He wanted to finish that inning off with Curt Casale now dealing with the dangerous Forsythe, and that'll prompt a visit from Charles Nagy, the pitching coach for the Angels.
Nagy in his first year as the pitching coach here. Weaver 6, Malley an inning and a third, Bedrosian 2/3, Joe Smith working the 9th. And the Rays have the bases loaded with 2 outs. And Logan Forsythe was 1 for 4 tonight. He had a first inning single. Logan was 0 for 1 in his career against Joe Smith. Souza started this inning with a base hit. Morrison walked. Jennings reached on a sacrifice attempt, a fielder's choice. So Morrison went to third eventually on Kiermaier's ground ball, and the bases are loaded on Casale's walk. Forsythe looks at strike 1. It's upstairs. 1-1. Wide off the plate. Wider than high.
Coming from that arm angle, it's easy.
And there's a soft liner into center, a base hit. Morrison scores. Kiermaier races to the plate. The Rays get 2 on a base hit by Logan Forsythe. It's 4-2 Tampa Bay. The Rays got the matchup there with Forsythe, who's been so good all year, coming through to give them a 2-run lead.
And imagine that, Logan Forsythe using the middle of the field. Tough arm angle to deal with. Comes right there, that ball stays out over the plate. Logan's able to just sweep it and push that ball right out into center field, knocking in 2.
Matt Miller takes a pitch outside. And a couple of walks and a couple of hits. And the Rays have a couple runs. So 1-1 count. Miller lifts it into left. Nava on the run is there to make the catch. Rays are retired in the 9th, but they put up 2 and take a 4-2 lead into the bottom of the 9th inning. go to the bottom of the 9th inning with the Rays holding the lead. Tonight's Geico great moment. Logan Forsythe comes through. His base hit to center field, scoring Logan Morrison from third base and Kevin Kiermaier from second base. Logan now 6 of 12 with runners in scoring position this year.
Now, not only is he having a great beginning of the season, but those numbers right there show you how clutch he is. And you know what? He was put into that position. The Rays were able to take advantage of a couple of walks. One to Logan Morrison. Of course, the 2-out walk to Kurt Casale was big. That gets Forsythe to the plate, and he just does what he always seems to do. He goes up with a plan, stays inside the baseball, uses the middle of the field, and gives the Rays the lead. And of course, we'll bring on Alex Colomé, so he'll be going for the save. 7 out of 7 so far. 2.45 earned run average, 14 punch-outs in 11 innings of work.
Well, last night he faced Escobar, Nava, and Trout to close out the 5-2 win, trying to close out a 4-2 win tonight, and he faces Cole Calhoun to begin the bottom of the 9th. First pitch is down. C.J. Cron next, and then Johnny Giavatella due up. Behind Calhoun. There's the zone. 2-1. Take the count even. Foul ball out of play. Again, the Rays trying to get back to 500. And a cut and a miss. Pitch disappeared, and Calhoun is out on strikes for the second time tonight, and the first out in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Now, a couple of good fastballs put Colomé in position to drop one of those. I mean, that is filthy, down and in. And you're right about disappearing. You see it out in front, you see it as part of the, close to the zone, you start your swing and it wraps around behind your leg. You're done.
C.J. Cron. There's a strike on the outside edge. Cron a 2-hit night. 0-2. Getting his first look at Alex Colomé. Foul out of play. Ground ball, that's going to go through the hole. C.J. Cron has his third straight hit, an 0-2 pitch. And he found the hole with that ground ball between short and third.
That was not a bad pitch either by Colomé. You watch Cron just follow it down. He's just trying to make contact, put the ball in play. That's his breaking ball working its way to the bottom of the zone. He's going to just kind of flip that ball out there, and he does find a hole.
Johnny Giavatella He was 3 for 4 in his career off column A, and he takes a fastball in the upper reaches of the strike zone. Low. 1-1. YUNEL had the infield hit in the 5th, sacrificed in the 7th, line to right his first time. Ground ball, Miller to Forsythe, that's 1. Morrison, that's 2, and the Rays are winners. 6-4-3 on the double play, and the Rays take game 2 of this series. 4-2 the final, and the 9th for the